I'd like to call to order this regular town council meeting of October 2nd, 2013. Welcome everybody in the crowd and those on Cyber TV. Everybody welcome. And Pastor Don will be saying our opening prayer.
Let us pray. Gracious Heavenly Father, we are people of change. We gather this night and we are aware of the many changes taking place in our community. As we see Sagewood open and change the state of our healthcare, as we see new businesses coming in, as we look at an election and how that will impact and change our community. God, we ask you to be present with us in all the change. Guide us, give us wisdom, give us compassion. God, I thank you for these council members and mayor that have served us well for the past years. I pray that you will watch over them and continue to give them discretion and wisdom as they lead and as they impact our community. And Lord, we pray for each person that is part of the Strathmore community. That you would watch over us and help us to take pride and joy in this community, that we would stand together to continue to build it, to change it, to be all that you would hope for it. Bless this meeting, bless each person gathered, and may the things that happen tonight bring honor and glory to you. For we pray in Christ's name. Amen.
Thank you. Item 3, additions or deletions to the agenda. I see we have 8.3 addition. Correct? Councillor Sobel?
I have nothing, Your Worship.
Councillor Rocky?
I have nothing, Your Worship.
Councillor Best?
I have nothing, Your Worship.
Councillor Field?
I have nothing, Your Worship.
Councillor Reppel?
Nothing for me, Your Worship.
Jen? Yes, Your Worship. Item 8.2 will be deleting from the agenda.
Delete?
Yes. And we'll be adding item 8.3, fire emergency dispatch services.
You all heard the additions and deletions motion?
Your Worship, I move that we accept the agenda as amended.
You all heard the motion? All in favor? Carried. 4.1, adoption of the September 18, 2013 regular council meeting.
Your Worship, I move that Council adopt the September 18, 2013 regular council meeting minutes as presented.
Thank you. You all heard the motion? All in favor? Carried. 5.1, we have a special guest here tonight. Staff Sergeant Riley, would you please come forward? And
thanks, Your Worship and council members. I thank you for taking time to let me speak to you. I just wanted to go through some of the things we've focused on and some of the things that have happened through the summer, and also what we plan on doing moving forward. I don't have stats. I don't want to get into that because that's a little more lengthy, and I know coming to the end of the term, so I want to come back once the election is done and go through some of that with the new council and mayor that's elected. Obviously, school zones are always a key. That started up the first few weeks. We hit them very hard. We continue to do that. We also want to get into the schools a lot more. The new sergeant that came in has started a new initiative where the members have to document and report to us on that, and and we're trying to get them in a number of times into the schools each month. Highway 1, is the mayor knows, we met and some of the councillors in the spring because of the concerns of highway number 1. We hit that hard April through June, and in the summer months it's kind of waned off a bit because of the work and the busyness of the summer. But that's going to be another focus of ours come this fall, and we've started that up again. Obviously, as always, and in our detachment goals that we presented prior to our fiscal year, which is April, drugs and mischief are key. We recently chosen a new crime reduction unit member. It's Constable Shannon White, and she'll be stepping into that role very soon. And she'll be focusing on that within the town. As we all know, mischief is always a concern. There's always that happening. So we have some initiatives that she's brought forward to us already, and that we want to try to implement those. One other thing that I wanted to try to build is a prolific offender program where people that have been charged or are on probation, we try to do physical checks on them. That means that if they have curfews and such like that, we check on them to make sure they're abiding by those. And if they aren't, then we have to look at enforcement on that. Another major thing is visibility in the community. Obviously, through the summer months, the guys get busy, and that becomes a kind of a snowball effect where they're out on calls, but they're also in the office doing paperwork to get the paperwork done for the court system and that. So now that it's starting to slow down, we hope to improve that and get more out in the community that way. I also must apologize with regards to budgets. Normally we come to you before rodeo weekend and present a rodeo weekend budget for overtime. I knew that because of certain situations that happened that is very rare, we were actually up to snuff, and we had actually more members than we normally do that time of year, because with our transfers, a lot of the times we find members transfer out early, and members coming out of the north have difficulty selling their houses and don't come in till September 1st for the school year. And so that August long weekend, we're kind of in that position where we're having transfers out, but the guys haven't come in to replace yet. This year was the opposite, and I didn't make it here, so I apologize for that. But I can tell you where we normally, I think for the last 4 or 5 years, have been around $6,000 or $7,000 for our budget that on rodeo weekend to be able to fulfill the commitments to make sure that it runs safely in that. This year, due to that and some creative scheduling, we were able to keep that under $2,000. So wow. The other thing with budgets was the tour of Alberta. The proposal or the estimation that I gave the administration when they asked for it was a few months in advance, and we didn't know about the transfers. I think I gave them somewhere around $7,000 or $8,000 as a budget. Again, partly because of creative scheduling, and also the members helping out and coming in and rescheduling work rather than claiming overtime. We were able to keep that at $1,100. So that's, again, an unusual thing. I don't expect that to always happen.
Not too late now.
But, but it is a benefit and is beneficial, obviously, for everybody. The final thing I wanted to speak to was something that came out in the paper. There was a letter to the editor back middle of August or September there, where we had an incident here in town with an armed and barricaded person where ERT, our emergency response team, was called. I didn't have any input. I thought about writing the papers. I didn't want to do that. But I do want to express it to you guys so you're aware of what's going on and you can answer questions to people with regards to that. A couple of points that were brought up weren't really the true basis of what it is. We made a press release after the incident, and I'm sure that he made a presumption that the incident started around 1 or 2 in the morning, and we found out about it at about 1:45 and immediately started to investigate it. It started in a vehicle. It was a mobile thing. It was a fairly serious incident. The suspect took off on foot, and we were able to call PDS out to try and do a track and find the guy. That didn't work out. They tracked him for about 3 hours, but didn't catch him. The investigation continued. We had 4 members working on it all night, and I don't want to divulge investigative techniques, obviously, and we don't do that in a press release, obviously, but we, like I said, we had 4 members working it constantly. We were able to locate him, confirm him in a residence early in the morning at about 7:30 or 8 in the morning, at which time he barricaded himself and he had a weapon. The members at the scene tried to negotiate, and in the meantime we called the emergency response team to ensure the public safety and our member safety. The team came out. It was resolved successfully. Nobody was injured, no members of the public, and the suspect wasn't. And he was taken into custody peacefully. That's contrary to a lot of what was in that article, but I did want to express that so that you're aware of that. In the article, he stated that nothing was done for the first 8 hours. I promise you, we didn't just not do anything. The other thing that I want to make clear is, again, goes towards budget, is ERT, the emergency response team, when they do come out on a call, it is a major package, as we call it. They come out with about 20 or 25 members. They have everything to cover any situation, and it's a big expense. That expense is not bore by the town. It is not a cost of overtime being charged to the town for any of those resources. The reason for that is a number of years ago, 15 years ago or so, it was billed to the town that called them. The problem they found with that was that the detachment commander who made the decision to call her might not call them because of the political jousting and the push and pull about budgets. So they didn't want that. They didn't want the detachment commanders to be worried about balancing budgets and officer safety and public safety. So they have gotten away from that. ERT has their own budgets. It's all on them. It is nothing is billed to the town when we call them, and therefore it's an easy decision to me that if we need it and it's the right call, the call's made, and there's no worry about me being conflicted with budgets and worrying about money. So I know that that's changed, and I want to make sure that you guys were aware of that, because obviously it impacts the town's budget. So other than that, I don't have anything else.
Thank you very much. Go ahead, Bob.
Thanks.
Councilor Sobel.
Thank you. Well, first of all, congratulations to you and your team in regards to that incident, staff. I was following that case, and I knew very well that this wasn't a situation where your people had gone for coffee. That's an all-nighter, and it's a lot of hard work, and it was congratulations that, and it's a real kudo to resolve something like that without any injuries.
Thank you.
Thank you for saving us a bunch of money. It's and once I'm serious, so we'll be expecting that again next year. And just you know, I want to bring this up just as a request, perhaps, that you could pass on to your members. I'm noticing an increase, a drastic increase, I would say, in distracted driving offenses in our town, and I hear fairly regularly from people in regards to being stuck behind somebody doing 30 kilometers an hour on their cell phone, and I know it's just, I mean, there's lots of issues in town, but any effort that can be made by the people enforcing traffic laws in regards to distracted driving would be, I think, greatly appreciated, and would make our streets a little safer as well.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Councilor Rocky.
Thank you, Your Worship. Staff Sergeant Riley, I'd like to also thank you guys for doing your job that night. I know slight to the papers, but I sometimes wish these letters that show up in the papers had some background checks to them and got a little bit more truth into them. This happens on a regular basis, I find. Again, a job well done. I just have one thing I wanted to ask you regarding Kinsman Park parking lot. I'm usually the first one uptown every morning, I would think, by 5:30 in the morning. Friday nights, so that goes to Saturday morning, there's a lot of complaints going on in there. There's a lot of excessive noise. Last week there was a bunch of squealing tires apparently in the parking lot. Garbage strewn all over the place, right beside the garbage can. I guess they don't know what the can's for. Is there any chance any kind of police presence, even if it's a drive-through once or twice a night through that parking lot on a Friday night, mainly on a Saturday night?
And we're aware of that,
Yeah,
absolutely, and we do, along with the back paths down past the trees on the east side of that. That's a major concern, and that goes to the visibility. I spoke to the mayor just last week with regards to that. He brought it up, and that. So it is always a focus of ours, but yes, I will definitely bring that up and try and make it more focused.
Thanks, Kevin.
Anybody else? Well, I certainly want to thank you for you and your members, and make that clear to them that what we do in your scheduling, and that's a great asset to us, and cutting the budget. I mean, that's a big thing. Thank you very much. And I too am a bit concerned about that incident and what went out in the papers, but I don't blame the paper. I mean, they can, with letter to the editor, they can't control that, but I know you did a great job anyway. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks for your support. Good luck in the elections.
Councillor Brent.
Yeah, I just want to say, as a school bus driver, we really notice a difference when there are patrols being made in the school zones. We're down to one peace officer town here, and it would be it's very much appreciated when we see more patrol cars coming through the school zones. And like Council Sobel said, and I notice this every day too, is about the driving and distracted driving. It really bothers me when I see, and I don't want to pick on women here, but I find that a lot. They're driving, they usually have a kid in the back seat or whatever, and they're on texting or reading their emails, whatever, you know, not paying attention to the road. And this is during the school zone time, you know. That's there's kids on the street, and I see a lot of people with cell phones driving while they're talking on the phone while they're driving. But when they're doing it in the school zone, and they're looking down at their phone instead of, but I'm in the bus, and they know that I can't do anything when I'm in the bus. When they see a police car, of course they put their phone down.
Yeah.
And I also want to thank you for all the efforts that your crew and your members made during that standoff and for saving us some money on the Heritage Days weekend and for the Tour of Alberta. And hopefully next year we'll be able to do that again.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Anybody else? Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Thanks for the support over the years. It's been a pleasure working with y'all. Good luck with the elections, and hope to be working with you again.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you. 6.1 bylaw number 13-18 land use amendment bylaw 118-128.
Your Worship, I move that Council give first reading to bylaw 13-18 and schedule a public hearing on November 20th, 2013 for bylaw 13-18.
You all heard the motion? All in favor? Carried. That only has to be one motion, right? Mm-hmm. Thank you. 8.1, and it's very exciting to announce this one. 8.1, Tracy Simpson's going to talk about the Alberta 55 plus summer games, which I want you to know all of council is under 55.
Well, then we won't have any competition.
Yeah.
So, I would like to introduce Mayor and Council to Donalda Leedon. She has she has been appointed the chair of the 55 Game Society for the Strathmore Games in 2015. We're very excited to have her on board. Donalda is a retired school teacher who still subs on occasion. She is an active member in the Lions Club here in Strathmore and is her husband is a very active member of the Lions Club. This is going really well. We're very excited to have her on board, and she's here to appoint her board of directors. She has to appoint 16 people to make these games run in 2 years, and she has done an amazing job. She has 15 of the 16 positions filled, and I'm going to let her introduce you to one of them and the rest.
Well, first of all, let's give Donalda a big hand and thank you for welcome aboard.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I'm quite excited about this opportunity, and I'm really excited about the 16 people that I'm going to be working with, and the 15 for sure. We thought we had all 16 until yesterday, and one backed off. We will get that position filled shortly. I'd like to let you know that the following members will be in charge of these specific areas. Jackie Lazaron will be the Director of Accommodations. Bill Morton will be the Director of Administration. Josh Binns, the Director of Activities, Charlotte Cummings, Director of Culture, Tim Drover, Director of Food Services, Cave Starling, Director of Friends of the Games, Kathy Tucker, Director of Protocol, Fred Rappel, Director of Registrations, Results and Communications, Don Hartman, Director of Facilities and Golden Hill School Division Liaison, Len Vormans, Director of Safety, Dr. Joni McNeely, Director of Medical Services, Keith Clayton, Director of Transportation, Bruce Bishop, Director of Volunteers, and Gail Galusha, Senior Liaison. The position to still be filled is the Director of Promotions.
So we ask that council appoint the above community members to the board of directors for the 2015 Alberta 55 Plus Summer Games in Strathmore.
Go ahead, Councillor.
Ever since I opened this sheet and had a look at this, I've been absolutely amazed. I mean, you haven't been in your position for a month yet, and to fill this many positions within a month.
You don't know Donalda.
Yes, I do.
My arm is still like.
And I must admit, from the get-go, Donalda was my choice for this position. So I'm very glad to see you in there, and I'm so proud of you. I really am amazed that you have been able to accomplish this, even with the arm twisting. This is still phenomenal. So congratulations, and thank you very much for accepting the position, and to you too, Charlotte. Thanks, and to.
Is Len here?
Len,
Oh, yes.
thank you.
Now, do we need a motion? Is that what you're? Yes, okay. Councillor Best.
First of all, I want to thank you for the job you're doing. It's amazing. Secondly, being as that I won't be sitting here next year, or the year after, if you really need someone, please give me a call. I'll fill that position for you.
Oh, thank you. It's on the record.
All right. Thank you.
You should wait till after the election, because there might be quite a few more. Looking for a motion.
Your Worship, I would move that council appoint the above community members to the board of directors for the 2015 Alberta 55 Plus Games in Strathmore.
We don't have to make special note of Donalda, or not?
She's already been appointed in a council meeting last month.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. All heard the motion. All in favor? Carried.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck in the election.
Thank you.
Thank you. E3, it was an addition. Thank you, folks. Fire and emergency dispatch services.
Your Worship, there are actually two memos attached to this agenda page. The Fire Emergency Dispatch Services, just an update. So Wedemza has completed the transfer of its medical dispatch service to the Alberta Health Services model. Administration had communication with Wedemza. They have been seeking various funding options. And the most promising is that Wedemza may be receiving funding from the provincial government the second quarter of 2014. Council had requested an update on the recommendation for emergency dispatch services, or sorry, for fire dispatch services. And given the recent information regarding Wedemza operations and the anticipated government funding, administration is recommending that this item be brought to the fall 2013 workshop with regards to impacts to the 2014 budget, possible impacts.
Thank you. Questions from council?
Do you need that as a motion or just a direction?
Oh, just direction. It's just for information. Sorry. And then the second item was the Town of Strathmore Fire Department, Alberta Health Services Medical Co-Response recommendations. And again, in conversations with WDEMSA, the transition to Alberta Health Services has gone smoother than anticipated. There has been no change to code red situations to date. Administration would like to possibly monitor the situation for a period of a year and collect some statistics. We are looking at registering with AHS for medical direction if this program were to come forward. And we are also asking that this is just presented for information, and that we bring this item forward to the fall 2013 budget workshop, as there could be impacts to the 2014 budget.
So that's, sorry, go ahead. Can anybody got questions?
No, I agree with this recommendation though, and that we need to look at that at the fall workshop, or council needs to look at it at the fall workshop.
But just a question.
Sorry, go ahead.
Just a question. The ambulances are still being operated here, or that is still the same?
It is still basically the same. There's still ambulances in town.
Okay.
But not being dispatched from here.
No,
Not being
yeah.
dispatched from here. No.
Okay. So
I would just move that the information supplied by the chief, the fire chief, be accepted for information purposes at this time.
you all heard the motion. All in favor? Carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nothing from administration. We're on to 10-1 council committee reports. Council Rempel, do you want to start first, or who wants to start first?
Well, I haven't had, sure, because it's going to be very short. None of my committees that I'm on have met this past month. So therefore, I don't have anything to report.
Thank you. Councilor Buell?
I have three committee meetings to report on. The library board had our meeting last week. Just wanted to announce and remind people that this Saturday is Library Day, October 5th, and the plan for the program on the Saturday is to promote and advocate for the importance of our library, as well as potential plans to either expand, relocate, or build new. There are some candidates who have confirmed that they will be there. I don't believe it's a forum, it's more of a meet and greet. So if anyone is free during the afternoon on Saturday, we'd love to have you. The Youth Club Board met last night. Our programs are running well. We are still dealing with a core of junior high age students who are hanging around the back, and some younger kids and their parents have had some concerns about going into the building. So we're trying to come up with ways to deal with that situation. We are also budgeting now for bus trips because we're a town department, and it has helped us a lot with our expenses like utilities. So we do have funds available that we could start to budget for bus trips, and we have someone who is checking into leasing a bus for us. But the big news is we're planning another fundraiser. We've come up with the idea that there really hasn't been a lot going on for the adults in the community on New Year's Eve. There's a lot of bars and things open. So we are hosting a New Year's Eve gala on obviously New Year's Eve. Tickets are $75 a person. It gets you a banquet, live band, party favors, and snacks. And the drinks are being done by the Cheetah Lions Club, so we appreciate them helping us out, and that's at the Civic Center. So mark that on your calendars. We'd love to have you. So we are alive and well, functioning very well, and as I said, the programs are doing really well. We have a lunch program that's been very successful too. And the last one, Wheatland Housing, I went to in September. Mainly did a lot of work with the finances and where to invest some of our reserves. The mortgage on Wheatland Lodge, which I announced yesterday, is officially paid off, so we own the building free and clear. It's a free and clear title. And that's it.
Thank you. Any questions? Don, Councilor Best.
Housing was just reported on. The Happy Gang, I want to thank Councillor Blockland for going to that meeting for me. I was unable to attend due to work commitment. And Community Futures Wild Road regular meeting was held on September the 5th. Chinook Entrepreneurial Challenge wrap-up video conference. Next year will be the 10th anniversary of the challenge. Special things will be done with media and social media advertising to kick it off. They'll be bringing back previous winners of the Entrepreneurial Challenge with success stories and etc. The winner of the Technology and Innovation stream, and this is new, will automatically be entered into the Venture Prize Alberta-wide competition. Business beautification loans, it was reported that we have advanced 3 loans to the businesses from Bassano for business beautification loans in the Newell County program. Alberta Youth Entrepreneurial Camp, 7 youth from our area attended, and it was reported that this was one of the more successful camps. The CF Symposium and training sessions will be held October 4th and 5th in Edmonton. There was an audit proposal brought forward. However, the board has asked that that be tendered out. Community Futures Wild Rose will take advantage of the loan life insurance, although through PSI insurance with a waiver added to our loan application that the client does not have to take out the insurance if they don't want to. And the disaster recovery plan, Community Futures Wild Rose has worked out a new policy plan for the disaster recovery. The next meeting will be tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, and that's my report.
Thank you, Councilor Best. Don, thank you. Councilor Rocky.
Thank you, Your Worship. Attended a Wademza, especially called Wademza meeting September 10th to discuss the second meeting set for September 13th with Alberta Health Services. With Chris Mazurkowicz, one of 8 vice presidents. This is the highest we've ever got to discuss contract overview, EMS service delivery, and budget comparisons. This same September 13th meeting was canceled as Chris Mazurkowicz and 4 others were fired from their positions with Alberta Health Services. Third meeting is now set for Wednesday, October 9th at 1 o'clock at the Days Inn, with Brenda Hubbard, Executive Vice President, Nick Thane, COO, Darren Sandbach, MLA Jason Hale, and MLA Dr. Neil Brown. So we'll see how this meeting goes. Handy bus meeting September 16th. We had a representative there looking for additional ambulance or additional handy bus service back and forth from Sagewood. Apparently, some of the seniors are getting stranded at the hospital and they cannot get back to Sagewood for certain reasons. We're looking into this, but it doesn't look like we're in a position to be able to do this, as we'd have to have people on call in the evenings and on weekends. Mel gave us a financial report that is looking very healthy. Operations report are good, 472 trips in August. Total repairs and maintenance to the end of September on 6 vehicles, $2,400, which is very low. Mileage is starting to creep up on a few of the units. Casino was set for last weekend. I haven't got any updates on that. The Seniors Happy Gang, September 10th. I did attend on behalf of Councillor Best. These seniors are very active. Their debates are almost make ours look lame. Right?
Absolutely.
They are very excited about the 2015 Summer Games. They're also very concerned if we can pull ours off as well as Westlock. Is that right, Tracy? I assured them with Tracy and Jen and others involved, we'll probably do better. They're also very concerned about rumors the co-op is leaving the downtown, as we heard last night from some other seniors too. I assured them there's nothing definite. However, what happens, happens, I guess. And they want to request ashtray stands outside of the Happy Gang building. United Way, I did attend the meeting on September 17th. We discussed fundraising and our annual AGM that's set for November 19th, making it a fun night at the same time. Still very hard at work trying to find interested citizens to sit as board members. And that's it for me.
Thank you. Any questions? Councillor?
Yeah, through the chair to Councillor Rocky. You mentioned that some of the people that are being transported from the Sagewood to the hospital are having trouble getting back to Sagewood.
Yeah, we had a lady, Ann McNair, Gary Eddy, speak to us on that.
Okay,
And,
Gary, yeah.
They're getting brought in by ambulance, and apparently, I guess they are probably on a waiting schedule when they're in the hospital, and it's a fair amount of time, hours later, when they're released, and there's no room in the hospital to keep them there, but there's no way of getting them back to Sagewood.
Yes, and this has been a concern all along that this would happen.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to try and come up with some way of, some kind of a solution to that, because some of these people are not physically capable of riding back in a taxi.
Right. On top of the fact that it's reported it's a $350 bill to move that ambulance, a $350 charge to move that ambulance one way.
Yeah.
Some people can't afford to pay that. There has been reports that they've pushed people in wheelchairs and stretchers down the road 3 blocks, which is not.
Yeah, I think this is something that Alberta Healthcare didn't think through too well.
But the handy bus is also not in a position to have a standby person on call every night till midnight and have staff on hand Saturday and Sunday either. We just got this handy bus in a fairly good position, and for us to start looking at that, we're going to be in not a good position again. So it is a problem. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And I think we all need to try and resolve that, because it's just going to get worse as soon as those people from the extended care are moved over to Sagewood. It's going to become even more of a problem. Thank you.
We're aware of that.
Yeah, thank you.
I just want to mention that Dwight and I have got notification, and you want to back me up on this, that it's not a rumor the co-op is moving. It's definitely happening, and it is a major concern for the older folks that are looking for groceries for downtown. We are. I haven't said this to Dwight, but I have been working for some time with the Patterson stores. They own a chain of grocery stores, and I think you and I talked about that. Maybe they would be looking at Strathmore. They're now moving to Langdon, and they would be looking at Strathmore for a smaller store, but there's no guarantees. But we're in conversation with them. So to move downtown. So we're not giving up on a grocery store downtown, is what I'm saying.
And you know, Your Worship, with all the empty buildings we've got downtown, there's some medium-sized buildings. There's obviously bigger-sized buildings, but for somebody that would be an entrepreneur to want to come downtown and start something like that, I mean, it could be a small operation that would service the seniors downtown. The seniors aren't buying cartfuls of groceries.
No, there are some medium-sized chains. There's one of them that's on Barlow Trail there. What's that one off of Barlow to the west? That this particular person owns, and I can't remember the name. But anyway, that's one of them that he's considering me, and the one that's moving to Langdon also. So they're talking of looking at Strathmore, but far from a guarantee yet. Any other questions? Not Councillor Zobel.
Thank you, Your Worship. In regards to the Strathmore Wheatland Addiction Team, or SWAT, a meeting was held on September the 3rd. The Kids and Drugs program was discussed, and dates of October 9th, October 23rd, November 6th, and November 20th were confirmed. This program is focused on delivering different messages and information to parents of children each week. This program has been highly spoken of in the past, and anyone looking for answers to deal with this serious issues, that is, kids and drugs, is encouraged to attend. The seminars will take place at McBride Career Group in Strathmore starting at 7 p.m. on those 4 dates. It's a 4-week seminar. Lastly, in other news, the SWAT website is closer to being completed. The Strathmore Assembly for Youth, or SAY, an organizational meeting was held and attended only by the students and the coordinator. Council's first attendance at a meeting is required later this month. Of interest is that SAY did decide to host a political forum, and this will be held on Wednesday, October 9th from 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. at Strathmore High School. The event is designed to increase youth engagement in the political process. So kudos to that. Good job on that. Calgary Regional Partnership Transportation Committee. A meeting was held September 12th in Cochrane. Information and discussions were held on regional transit, especially in regards to how the governance of this project would look. The CRP staff continue to do a lot of work on this. That's CRP being Calgary Regional Partnership. Continue to do a lot of work on this, and some concrete ideas as to how this will look like will be forthcoming. I'd like to emphasize that Strathmore is not committed to any action in this regard, but I certainly would look forward to being able to present a proposal in the coming months should I be lucky enough to return to council. Thank you. That's my report, Your Worship.
Any questions of Councillor Sobel? Not. The CRP meeting that was held in September for my position as mayor was, I couldn't attend it. I was at another commitment. Councillor Hamilton attended it. The information I got is that we are going to be, because we're a kind of a satellite to CRP, we're not going to have to be going to so many meetings, but we'll be informed on a quarterly basis, invited on a quarterly basis to CRP. So we're not dropping out, but there'll be a lot less pressure on us to be involved in these, because the involvement is mainly with the towns and cities that are joining Calgary, and now that they're going to be involved more, we don't have to be so much until things like transportation come along, so we're not going to be left out, which I'm somewhat pleased with, because it cuts expenses quite a bit. I attended the Councillor Hamilton's Chamber of Commerce meeting on Tuesday for him. He wasn't able to make it, and it was a very well-run meeting. They have 4 new members that joined, so they're progressing slowly. They have enough members to make a quorum, and they're enthusiastically trying to move forward with the chamber. We had requested the financials and the monthly minutes for the past few meetings, and they are coming forth with them. Other than that, it was a good, sensible meeting. If there are no other questions, not. Go ahead.
Can I give a report?
Yes.
The old mill pub has been converted over into Strathmore Motor Sports, and they spent about $132,000 doing renovations. I mentioned last month Walmart spent $2 million inside renovating, and it's still not complete. And then they took another permit out for $80,000. Starbucks got a permit for $50,000 to renovate inside. Pizza Hut, $75,000 to renovate that small area. And I think I mentioned before, but Mr. Lube is going into Walmart. So in the back part there, on the east side, it'll be Mr. Lube instead of Walmart. Building permits, so far, as of the end of September, a little over 18 million. Single family have been very slow, as we know, but there's been a lot of duplexes. 32 duplexes have been built this year. Bill Turnbull has been doing a lot of dirt work on the east side of George Freeman Trail, and the road's still blocked off for a few more days. But he'll be opening up. He's putting the service in now, then he'll be getting lots ready. And he'll have some smaller lots. So I think that the housing will turn around quite a bit. Because if he can come in with houses under 300,000, I think it'll be really good. South of there, Ron Renault is doing that commercial development. Commercial development, he's getting ready to put the sign up. He's getting ready to do dirt work, probably within a week or 10 days. He got a hold of us to get that sign up there. The big cement sign, it said Strathmore on it. We have to get that out of there. We had to get the power taken out. So we got a hold of Fortis to take the power out. Also on the west end of town and on the east end of town, our big new Strathmore signs will be going up shortly. Bill Turnbull gave us permission to go ahead and put it where we wanted there. And on the west side, it's pretty well finalized as well. So hopefully within maybe 2 or 3 weeks, both those big signs will be up. And that's about it.
How many lots are in Bill Turnbull's to start with? 70? Of various sizes?
Yes, but quite a few are smaller.
Yeah. I actually, Ron Renault phoned me this afternoon, and he said that the equipment should be out tomorrow.
That quick?
Yeah, moving dirt, so I don't know.
I hope we got the power out of there.
But they can work till the morning.
Okay. Anyway, Fortis talked to me yesterday again, said they'd get right on it.
Thank you. Any questions of Dwight? Or?
Your worship, I would move to accept the reports as they're brought forward.
Y'all heard the motion. All in favor? Carried. There's nothing else on the agenda except adjournment. I just want to say that our meetings have been fairly short over the past little while. Mostly because we got our ASPs done and there's really nothing coming forward other than just general business, which is exciting actually, and hopefully these developments will all take place.
Move to adjourn.
Y'all heard the motion. All in favor? Carried.